Hello everyone and welcome back to Ask Adam. I'm Stephen Lindsay and I'm here again with Adam for some of your questions. Adam, it's good to see you again. It feels like a lot's happened since the last time we sat down to do one of these, especially around the stage 4 escalation work, which I know has been front and centre for so many of our colleagues. Before we do any questions, do you want to give us a bit of an update on how things are moving and what people can expect over the next few weeks?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks very much, Stephen. So I think the key bit about the escalation is that we're getting in place a really comprehensive sense of what we do over the coming days, weeks, months to return NHS Grampian to a sustainable system. So I think probably three areas that have been really key in our work have been around, firstly, planned care, and lots of the team in our organisation, NHS Grampian, have been working really hard to have a plan to see how we get as few people remaining on the waiting list beyond 52 weeks by next April. And we've still got a number of people that will be waiting longer than we want. And so as part of the escalation, we've had some offers of support from other health boards, and Paul Baku and others are working through that at the moment with other health boards to see exactly what those offers are and how they can support us to get really close to that target of having nobody waiting beyond 52 weeks by next spring. So I think that's a really exciting and really positive step forward for our population to reduce that waiting time. I think the second bit of work that we've done a huge amount on, and loads of people have been involved with this and working away at it, is around unscheduled care. And obviously we know that our unscheduled care performance at the moment isn't what any of us would want, whether it's people waiting in the community part, people waiting for ambulances waiting to come into the hospital, people in the hospital waiting to get through it, getting through an inpatient stay and back into the community. So it's that whole pathway, not one single bit is the only part. We need the whole system to work together. And across the health and social care partnerships in the acute sector, there's been a tremendous amount of work to develop the plan that has now been agreed through with Scottish Government, and that's released an additional £8 million of funding to help us deliver on that plan. And again, as part of the escalation process, I think we've had some help. Has been, maybe it would have been available anyway, but it's been offered, very readily by lots of people to support us to make that plan really challenged, really challenging us to make sure we're getting the most out of that unscheduled care plan that we can. Again, all about patients, making sure patients travel as smoothly as possible through an unscheduled care pathway. And if we get that right, then it will feel a lot better for our colleagues as well. So there's a real win-win there for both patients and colleagues when we continue to make that positive progress. And the third thing is the money. And as you know, at the moment, we are aiming in this financial year, so in the 25 to 26 financial year, to make some £62 million of savings. So an eye-watering sum of money. Absolutely incredible credit to everyone in our system that's part of that. I mean, everyone's part of that. There's not a single exception. Everyone is part of that for delivering that huge level of saving. And when we deliver the £62 million of savings through this year, that will mean that NHS Grampian has a deficit this year of £45 million. So still, we're still far from a sustainable position. So again, really positive, but still lots and lots of work to happen over, I guess, realistically, the next 1, 2, 3 years to get back to a zero position financially would be my thought at this moment. Clearly other things can change, but it's a proper process over a period of time. And I guess I was just thoughtful about some of the questions that I think came in, and we're not going to do much on the questions today. We're going to pass those to Laura Skaife-Knight, who starts next week, for Laura to pick up in the first one of these. Just feels a bit more sensible than me answering something at this last moment. But there was a couple of questions about training, and I'll just make a general comment that, having well-trained colleagues is critical. Absolutely no one would say otherwise. And we need to deliver that training within the financial window and financial envelope that we've got to do. So again, at the moment, with us being at such financial pressure, there is a tension all the time between things that everyone wants to do, everyone knows the right things to do, and just how we deliver those in a sequence that allows us to continue to make those savings. So not to do away with things, but just to sequence them and do them. And again, I know there'll be some frustrations because we've put some processes in place and all those, but we're aware of that. We're improving those all of the time as we go forward. And I guess the other thing that people seem to ask about quite a lot relating to money is, you know, do we think about and understand some of the other implications? And we absolutely do. And as we get better at doing, you know, impact assessments, which are really important for patients and the population, but also for colleagues, then we'll continue to get that to be better and better. And I think probably, Stephen, that's enough on the assurance process. So we're working with the assurance board. That's a really positive experience there, being incredibly supportive, really challenging us to make sure NHS Grampian succeeds. We get back to that sustainable future. So so far it's been a very, very positive experience. And certainly Laura Skaife-Knight, the new chief exec, you know, she's been coming to the assurance board. So I've been meeting her lots and lots, so that we've been doing handover over the last well, more than a month, maybe 6 or 7 weeks, something like that. So again, hopefully Laura will be very well briefed as she takes up the post next week.
Okay, thanks, Adam. I suppose one topical question that we did get in for today's session was from an anonymous member of the admin services team in Murray, asking about the winter flu vaccine, and what they said was, what would Adam's message be to staff considering skipping the winter flu vaccine because it doesn't include COVID this year? I'm concerned to hear a number of colleagues say that they will, especially after the winter we had last year.
Yeah, do you know, again, I think I can't emphasize the importance of us getting the flu vaccine. I think if you get flu, you know, it's not just the inconvenience of being off work for a few days or even a week or more if it gets you bad, but there's the impact on your colleagues. If you're off, there's the likelihood of spreading the disease to your colleagues or indeed to your patients. And so there's just something about, in my mind, I think there's a responsibility for us to, wherever we can, to make sure we get the flu vaccine, and we're a key part of breaking that infection chain that happens. So in our communities, with our families, with all those things, and not to mention colleagues and patients at work, but there's something about how do we play our part in breaking that chain of infection that happens. And we remember those so well, don't we, from the COVID adverts about how people spread and how you break the chain of infection. That has a real impact. And for flu, it's just the same. If we can really get on top of that and we can play our part, and it'd be great. There's loads of clinics coming up. Keep an eye on the Daily Brief, and you'll see opportunities to get them in your workplace as part of being a colleague of NHS Grampian. So I really encourage you to do it. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Adam. It's a strong reminder for all of us as we head into winter. So that brings us to the end of this month's unusual session, and it is quite different because, as Adam's already said, this is the last one of these Ask Adam sessions before he retires from over 30 years working with the NHS in Grampian. Now, Adam's made it clear he doesn't want any fuss, but I do just want to say on behalf of everyone who's watched these sessions or sent in a question over the years, thank you. It's been a real pleasure working with you, Adam, especially on both Grampian Area Partnership Forum and on these question and answer sessions. And I know how much staff have appreciated having someone who's willing to take these questions head on and address their concerns directly. Do you have any parting words for us, Adam?
Yeah, thank you very much, Stephen. And yeah, just a few things. So firstly, perhaps an apology for any of the questions I haven't answered well enough, and we've still got stuck on, and things that haven't quite moved as well as we'd want. So my apologies to anyone who's been frustrated by any of that. But hopefully, lots of the things I've chatted away at with Stephen and explained what we're trying to do as an organisation have been helpful. Yeah, all I want to say is just a huge sense of how much I've enjoyed being part of the NHS Grampian family. I've broadly spent my whole working career in NHS Grampian. I've done all sorts of different roles. I've enjoyed all of them, and even ones where you're under enormous pressure. And I know all of us, as all the colleagues in NHS Grampian, have moments of huge pressure and things. I've enjoyed all of them, and I will watch with, huge love, affection, all those things, NHS Grampian as it continues on its journey, and I'm sure that the next chapter is going to be hugely successful as we, get back to that sustainable organisation, and I know that we've got all the right colleagues to achieve that. I'm sure it'll be tough. I think there's some really hard yards to work together on that, but I think as an organisation we can work really well together, and we absolutely can achieve what we need to. So I just wish everyone all the very best. I'd like to thank everyone for being great colleagues over my whole career. As I say, I've enjoyed all of it, but all the best to everyone, and I'll watch on with great interest. Thank you.
Thanks again, Adam, and thanks to every one of you for watching.